So this is our sketch of what we call resurrection organizing, putting together the ministries, the churches, the organizations, and the human beings in your state that follows the shape and the imagination of death and resurrection. So here we have our line of the underground. Jesus says the gates of Hades will not stop his church. So we've got Hades, the realm of the dead, the underworld. Why we call ourselves underground ministries. Oftentimes there's razor wire. Let's do the chain link fence. This is the realm of the underworld. So oftentimes people think, at least in churches, they're aware of at least prison ministries. That is the shape of the descent of Christ into hell. In the death, into the tombs. We can call it the tombs as well. And so this is where, let's celebrate prison ministries. Do you know any prison ministries in your state connected with your parishes? That's an important piece of what they do. They bring in the love and friendship of heaven, of God and Christ into prisons where there are folks to receive that love. But oftentimes prison ministries will be the first to tell you at conferences, and if you spend time talking with them, that these folks have no way of continuing that fellowship when they oftentimes get out. They are wondering, what about prison re-entry work? So re-entry, going back out into the community, that's resurrection work right there. And so prison ministry without re-entry ministry is incomplete resurrection. It's just the descent. It's just the friendship of God into the tombs, but we break open the underground. It's not just a Friday and Holy Saturday ministry. We celebrate and practice resurrection. So that is re-entry. That's the social work term for it. So oftentimes there's also, in your region, there might be a few re-entry organizations. The problem is that oftentimes reentry organizations are small and they are normally in just big cities. Folks release from state prisons all over the state. And so there might be a few reentry orgs that walk people out with housing, driver's license. Normally not much community, but some good agencies that support folks. And there might be a few prison ministries that go in. What we're doing at One Parish One Prisoner is we're saying, what about all these parishes? Let's just make them little crosses like that. What about all these communities out here to welcome folks back into the land of the living? How do they all start joining the resurrection practice? You've got your prison ministries. We know about them. We've got folks that our prison ministry friends know and love on the inside, but when they get out and they have release dates, do they not just have a reentry org or resource, but do they have a whole community to wrap around them? So what One Parish One Prisoner does is we put all these pieces together with one role, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So with One Parish One Prisoner, we want to, in your region, you bring together the prison ministries. Why? Because they bring in an application right there. That's the OPOP application. And so we partner with the prison ministries because they will be your partners for introducing this vision of what if we could tell our folks and all these groups on the inside through their prison ministry partners, would you like to have a whole community get to know you for a whole year? So let's say this is the first year. That's release right there. For a whole year, would you like a whole community to get to know you and write letters with you for a whole year and walk with you for another year and beyond into your community? And so the prison ministries, you bring them to the table. They're already doing the work, but they are part of the organizing. Secondly, the reentry orgs, you want them at the table, and you need at least 2 prison ministries, 2 reentry organizations for One Parish One Prisoner to come and start consulting with your region. But most importantly, we need whole networks of churches. We'll get to that in just a second. How the One Parish One Prisoner works is that application right here. They will mail that into one person who will be the One Parish One Prisoner regional mobilizer One Parish One Prisoner works with just one full-time person. And so the applications come in through the prison ministry, but they're mailed in from incarcerated men and women. Hundreds of them soon will come into your mobilizer. Your mobilizer will then take this application, review it, vet it, have a little bit of dialogue with the incarcerated applicant, and within 1 year, they're recruiting a church that maybe is right in that person's county. They recruit by geography and timeline. If they're getting out in a year or more to this county, they will find that church, recruit that church, so that this person, that they have their own relationship. So the regional mobilizer takes the applications and recruits churches in their town, helps them put together a team of 7 people on that team who will be in relationship with the incarcerated person through their pre-release planning and then a whole year of walking with them. So this is our work of descent and resurrection. Lastly, how does your region put together the funding for one regional mobilizer? This is why we don't just recruit when we come to a new state. A church here, a church there, a church here. We started doing that in Chicago, and we learned in Texas and California. Smaller states like Rhode Island, we need entire denominations. Not only is a network to help co-recruit 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, the next 100 churches in your region. We need whole networks, but we also need the funding. It's a lot, and yet it's not. It's only one person. This regional mobilizer would work for Underground Ministries, be recruited from your region, and that region would fund this person. Let's say roughly $80,000 a year, salary position for an excellent person in your region who knows the prison world, who understands and moves well with different denominations, Catholics, Protestants, different traditions. To fund one regional mobilizer, we're going to need multiple denominations to fund 20, 15, 5, 30,000 a year to make One Parish One Prisoner work and bring resurrection organizing to your entire state.